let's talk a little bit. The fight maybe didn't start how you initially planned for it. It looked like, and in all actualities, going into that third round and towards the late, did you have yourself down those first 2 rounds?
Yeah, man, I thought that the first round was close, but he probably got it, and he definitely won the second for sure. So I knew I needed to finish. You know, my coaches no one lies to me. You know what I mean? They told me going into the third I was down 2 and I needed to finish. I didn't see it in my head going like that. I fought this fight 100 times in my head, whether it's laying in bed or at the gym or whatever. Fought it hundreds of times, and not one of those did it go that way. You know, I didn't expect for him to put the thumping on me on our feet a little bit. You know, I think I was so worried about his takedowns that every time he moved forward, I was expecting the takedown. He did a really good job of feinting those takedowns. So I think just the threat of his takedown opened up his striking. You know, but man, I'd rather take some thumps to the head than get laid on. So, you know, it worked out, obviously, but I'm all right with it.
It seemed like the third round cardio was a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
Did you sense him getting tired, or what was your feeling of how?
No, man, I felt like he was still strong. I felt about halfway through the third round, I visibly looking at him, I couldn't tell he was tired, but by the way he was fighting, he was circling away, he was staying on the cage the whole time. The first 2 rounds, he did a really good job of taking the center from me, and I kept having to fight to get the center of the cage back. But towards the end of the round, or towards the second half of the third round, he started giving up the center of the cage willingly without really fighting for it. So that's when I started realizing he was getting tired.
Was that finishing sequence, was that a combo? Was that just something you just saw?
No, my coaches were telling me the whole time that he kept throwing that overhand right and kept hitting me with it. And the reason he kept hitting me with it is because an overhand right and a takedown look the same at the beginning of it. So I would be expecting the takedown and he was throwing the punch, or he was throwing the punch and I was expecting the takedown. So both of the beginnings of those 2 techniques look the same when you're in front of someone fighting. So my coaches said throw the left high kick, it'll get him to stop throwing his right hand. So I threw a couple left high kicks and he stopped throwing it, and then as I started moving to his right side, he would circle the other way. They said throw up the right head kick and see what happens, and it worked out perfectly.
Your moments after you won, you look like you just got overcome with emotion. Mm-hmm. Was that a first? I mean, that feeling that you had, was that just incredible? Yeah,
man, I don't necessarily get too emotional in there. I don't get mad or sad or upset. I've had some personal things going on. My mom was supposed to be here. She's in the hospital. Just dealing, just had a lot of personal stuff going on. And then my mom, the day before I was coming here, and just a lot has happened, and just like the adversity I had in the first part of the fight, I was down, and just I've been telling people all the time, I am unshakable. You're never gonna fucking shake me. You're never gonna break me. I'm never gonna quit. And that whole fight was a culmination of that, of just visibly proving that, like, you're never gonna break me. I'm never gonna quit. And like I earned my nickname a long time ago, and it was performances like this that did it. It's not the prettiest. It's definitely not gonna scare anybody in the division, but Andrew Sanchez is, he's been talking about trying to get a top 10 dude, and I just put him away. So out of just pure toughness, I'll beat anybody.
Does that finish feel more special since you went through the adversity of the first round? If you went in there and got that knockout right at the get-go, would you feel as good about the fight, and would you think you'd have that emotion that you
No, man. The feeling I had after that was over was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my whole life. It just, you tell yourself all the time, no matter what happens in the fight, I'll get through it. But like, you don't always believe, you don't always know that for sure. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys say that, but I proved a lot to myself, and that's something Mark Montoya told me right before we went out. He was like, the only person you have to impress is yourself. And that's what it was about. It wasn't about the crowd or anybody else. It was proving to myself that no matter how deep we get, how far we are to the end of the fight, or how close we are, that I can push through and do what I got to do. And it was just one of the best feelings in the world, and hats off to Andrew. That dude is super tough, man. God damn, he was tough. And I've never been so happy to see someone unconscious in my whole life. I was like, thank God this guy's out, man. God damn. I remember throwing the hammer fist, just hoping to God he didn't wake up. Man, but on a serious note, man, I hope he's all right. And I see him headed out to the hospital, so I do hope he's all right, man. I'd like to shake his hand sometime and have a beer with him.
Well, you said your opponent was trying to call out top 10 opponents.
Mm-hmm.
What about for you? I mean, what's the path for you? Who do you see next, and when do you see it happening?
Man, I'd like to fight, like my last fight, I said I wanted to fight really quick, but I wasn't able to because I had that neck injury. So I had to wait a while. I had to turn down some opportunities. But man, I'm healthy. I mean, my face looks like shit, but like I feel good. My hands are fine. My neck is good. You know, I feel great. I'm in really good shape. One of my teammates, Chris Camozzi, is fighting in Sweden. So I don't know how full that card is. They don't have much announced. So it'd be really cool to go over there with Chris. You know, Zach Cummings is one of my teammates too. So it was cool to like fight, all of us together as a team. You know, we got a big full room. Tim Elliott's fighting too. He's on the same team. You know, it was. I like that atmosphere, having other teammates there. You know, some guys don't like it, but like I feed off of that. You know, like Zach went out there and did it big too. So I think that I would like to fight as soon as possible. You know, whether that be Sweden or wherever. You know, I'm just ready to go. I do have a baby due. We have me and my fiance have a third child on the way. So a girl, 3 girls. Be like the beginning of July. So I kind of have to bounce around that a little bit, but I'm ready to roll.
Did you get a chance to talk to Zach? I don't know if he told you. We were in the middle of interviewing when you had that finish. And but he was very, very happy for you.
Awesome, man. No, when I was seeing the doctor, he came in and gave me a high five and said he wanted to talk. So, man, Zach Cummings, Chris Camozzi, Mark Montoya, all the dudes at Factory X, Scott Morton, Matt Bentley. We have this group. This everyone works so well together. And like I said before the fight, man, there's like some crazy shit going on between Kansas City, Denver, and Omaha. We got that little triangle of a team, and we all end up meeting in like Denver and man, we got some cool shit going on. There's a lot of tough dudes. There's a whole bunch of guys at Factory X that most people haven't even heard of, but they're killers. You know, they're killers. I got to give a shout out to Nate Marquardt. Man, that dude helped me a lot for this fight. Just being a really good training partner as far as emulating Andrew. So I got to give a shout out to Nate, man. He's one of the OGs in the sport, so got to give a shout out.
You're kind of in a select group in the sense that your first fight in UFC, you lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got released.
Mm-hmm.
How many fights did it take? It took, I think, like 6 or 7 fights.
It took me 8 wins.
8 wins.
8 wins, yeah.
8 wins.
It took me 8 wins to get back.
How did you not give us 8 wins? You know, I mean,
I told you, man. I'm unshakable. I'm unshakable. I'll never quit. Sometimes it's not just heart and desire. Sometimes I'm just too stupid. You know, like I just don't care, you know. I'm just gonna keep, because I know deep down how good I am. I know what I'm capable of, and I know that in this sport, like shit doesn't always go your way, you know. Like sometimes you just go in there and you have an off night. And I think I had a little bit of an off night tonight, a little bit of a slow start, but I can feel it in my heart. Like I know that I'm gonna be a world champion someday, and like no one's gonna tell me any different, you know. And in order to be a world champion in the UFC, I had to fight 8 fights to get back to the UFC. And that's how my brain works. It's not like, oh man, I got to fight all these fights to get back. It's like, well, I need to be a world champion. I need to be in the UFC to do that. So let's start with little goals, all right? So I'm like, all right, let's get 4 in a row and see what Joe Silva says, because that's who it was at the time. Got 4. He was like, well, you know, he hasn't finished a wrestler in a while, or hasn't finished a jiu-jitsu guy in a while. So I go out and I submit a couple black belts. You know, it's like I just do whatever I got to do. You know, and I don't know. I wish I had that like answer where I just had this huge epiphany thing to tell you, but I just keep going, man. There's no other choice. I just do it, you know. I just grind and I just keep fucking pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually people break, you know. And that's what happened tonight. I just keep on going.